Human Design Lesson 202, all about profiles, simplified and explained. Okay, let us begin into this video. Om Shanti, my name is Garret. Before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. It's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from so we could actually connect within this space, okay? So please remember to show some love and hit like, subscribe, share your learnings also, okay? It will greatly help in my contents, okay? So without further ado, let's go into the topic, okay? Human Design 202, okay? How do you read your own charts? By going into the profiles, okay? So this is more explained and more simplified for you, okay? So this is another core aspect of our human design chart that basically tells you about your personality and the role that you came here to play, okay? So it's one of the first things that I've noticed when I first saw my own body graph chart, okay? And then because of its fraction looking appearance, and I pretty much suck at maths, so whenever I see numbers and all, I get turned off. So with that little hint, right, you probably know what I'm talking about. It is all about the profiles, which you would see some fraction numbers all there, okay? So that is what I'm talking about, is this profile in human design, okay? So what I basically aim to cover in this video, you will learn, okay, the following questions, okay? What are your profiles? How is your profile determined? What do these numbers mean in your profile? And of course, what insights can you get your profile to tell you? And how can you use this in your actual daily life, okay? Lastly, how do you learn more about your own profile, okay? So let's start this whole lesson off officially, okay? Profiles are actually one of those things in human designs that actually gives you a very unique insight into how we actually think and also learn, and how we actually move around in the world, okay? So it's one of those things that we can't really do anything about, okay? So this profiles is actually quite fixed for this lifetime, but things can still be changed using spiritual methods as well, okay? If you go into meditations, burning of karmic consequences and karmic account, right, you change dramatically. Of course, if you study into what's your human design, find those things that you are lacking in, or in other words, undefined in your energy centers, or you understand about your weakness and strengths in terms of your channels and your gates, right? Then you could improve in your life, and when you improve, then therefore things would change for your life as well, okay? So that's the whole point of studying human design, as well as feng shui, everything other astrology and all would help you, okay? So it actually gives you a different perspective and actually give you a deeper understanding and awareness of ourselves, okay? And it clears up some of this potential inner conflict and can help you become much more self-accepting in towards your own personality, okay? So what are the profiles, okay? As mentioned in the intro, right, your profile in human design is actually basically the role that you came here to play, and it is your personality and the storyline in your life, okay? So your personality profile is actually made up of 2 different numbers from 1 to 6, and forms what looks like a fraction, and each of these 6 numbers, right, are actually called lines, okay, which originated from the hexagram of the Chinese I Ching, okay, the hexagram, the 64卦, okay? So each of these lines represent a different archetype in human design. Okay, so an archetype basically describes certain patterns or behaviors, in another words. Okay, a very typical example of a certain thing or person, very similar to what you would find with astrological signs and personality. Okay, and basically just like the MBTI and also the Enneagram. Okay, so these are just archetypes. Okay, so the first number of the fraction represents your conscious personality, your mind, and basically how you think. So I've covered this in lesson 102, 103, as well as I've covered it in the incarnation crosses. So a lot of these methods are actually quite similar in how you actually interpret them. So the second number itself represents your unconscious design. Okay, your body and how you experience this physical world. Okay, so to illustrate that, there's an example of my 1-4 profile. Okay, and how it was actually played out in my own life. Okay, I'll share my own example. So let's just say, okay, just give you some context. I have always been kind of a black sheep of my family, so that's why I'm a little bit disconnected due in the distance, as well as the type of conversations that I have with my family members. Okay, and that went against the traditional path within my family. Okay, and the social norms that is actually happening in my family as well. So my parents, especially when I was younger, and even sometimes even until now, I'm 33. Okay, often perceive me to be very impulsive and very careless because of some of the things that I've actually just dived into. Okay, so one of these examples is to tell you that I've left my so-called stable job, okay, as an interior designer, to move together with my wife to Australia to actually find a new job all over again. Okay, and starting out fresh over in Australia, a new job and a new residency. So yeah, that was kind of scary for them to think that, oh, their dear son is about to leave them for good. Okay, and another example is now working in a full-time and stable job as a project design manager. I decided to sort of quit my job, now subsequently converting it to a part-time basis and eventually quitting it entirely so that I could focus on a new career path as a life coach, and basically without a stable income. Okay, so from an external lens, right, and that unconscious view that others have of me, okay, a lot of people would think that I am the type of person that goes whoever or whenever, okay, there are other better opportunities out there, throwing away stability and also like that guarantees, because remember, this unconscious side of me is actually how others sees you, right? So we need to know that this unconscious path is often how people perceive of you. It's not rather how you are actually, okay? It's how people think of you, okay? But so for me is that line for the opportunist, okay? But that reality was that I had followed my authority, okay, and my intuition, and before I actually totally act on whatever decisions that I make in my life, I actually did quite a ton of research and investigation on, because that's what investigators do, right? They do lots of research and studies before they actually dive into making their choices. And people don't necessarily see that, okay, because what happens at the back of house, nobody sees it, right? Everybody only just seeing the front, the facade of everything. So don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Because remember that conscious line, the conscious line 1, right, is all about your mind and how you think. And so to summarize, my experience as a 1-4 profile is almost like people see me as an externally close to certain people, okay, or change as an opportunity to sort of better my own life. But the thing is, but deep down, I have always felt secure in my decisions because I've done my own research in line 1, okay, and with my own hard work to sort of back myself up. Okay, so that is my profile of 1-4, okay, and yeah, we'll get to get into what all these lines and all this stuff actually mean. Okay, so next, how is your profile determined? Okay, you probably heard of me explain this before in lesson 102 and 103 as I mentioned earlier. Okay, but your profile is determined by the gate where your conscious personality, your personality sun, and your unconscious design sign that is found in your chart. Okay, so for example, if you look at the chart, okay, right here, okay, you take the decimal number of the gate on the right side. In other words, your conscious personality sun gate. Okay, and then you take the decimal number on the left side. In other words, your unconscious design sun gate as well. When you put it together, you get yourself this profile. Simple and easy, right? So, what do the numbers mean in your profile? Then you will be thinking. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, each of these 6 numbers represents a different archetype in human design. So I won't be going into all of these lines super in depth, but I still want to give you an overview. So the first line, as the investigator, is the type to constantly be researching, investigating, and basically really seek the type of information for solid foundation sorry, excuse me, of information in order to feel secure and confident. Okay, number 2, line 2, okay, hermit, is introverted, sometimes antisocial, and needs alone time, and the hermit is also very naturally talented and tends to wait for the right call to come out and share their gifts and spread it to others. Okay, so line number 3, the martyr. Okay, the martyr lives life through a trial and error process and loves to dive into things and experiment. Okay, despite what others say or think. Okay, they can come to their own truth and conclusions. Okay, that's the martyr, line number 3. Line number 4, the opportunist, okay, is someone who highly values connection and their relationships and may find that most of their opportunities in their life come from their own network. Okay, line number 5 is the heretic. Okay, has an attractive aura that really projects onto others that they have the solutions to almost everything, to all their problems as well, and that they are here to save the day. Okay, that's number 5. So line number 6, okay, lastly, okay, is the role model. So it is like the wise Buddha kind of archetype that goes through a 3-stage life process. Okay, where the first 30 years are like experience as a line 3 martyr. Okay, so through that trial and error process and all this trying out, okay, leads them to evolving into a great role model and sharing wisdom with others. Okay, so the 12 profiles, let's talk about them. Okay, altogether these 6 lines make up a total of 12 different human design archetypes. Okay, or 12 different profiles in other words. Okay, so if you watch my video on lesson 201, incarnation crosses, right, which I will link down in this description below, you will know that your profile will determine whether you have a personal, a fixed fate, or a transpersonal destiny. Okay, so what you'll notice is that the first number is lower than the second number, then you will have a personal destiny like all the profiles here that you see. Okay, if the first number is higher than the second number, then you will have this fixed fate or this transpersonal destiny that you can see here. Okay, so to be honest, right, it would be an overkill if I went through all of these single profiles in this video. However, if there's something that you want to learn, if this is something that you want to learn, right, comment in the box below so that I would actually create one video just to do entirely cover all these respective profiles, right, out of this 12. Okay, so what insights can this profile tell you? Okay, your profile can tell you that you're meant to externalize, or in other words, right, share and express with others. Take for instance, the line 1 investigator is here to share information and their findings from this research and their studies and investigations. Okay, the line 2, for instance, hermit, is here to share their natural talents, whatever they might be, when they are called and it's correct for them to do so. Okay. The third line, the martyr, okay, is here to share their experiences and what they discovered through their trial and error throughout entire life. Okay, you know what works and what doesn't. Okay, so that's the martyr, the line 3. Line number 4, the opportunist, right, is here to create connections with others, and depending on what other lines in their chart, right, is to really share their knowledge and their wisdom, okay, and sort of solutions to this to their network. Okay. Line number 5, the heretic, is here to create new and impactful norms and offer solutions to those who are correct for them to serve. And lastly, line number 6, the role model, is here to gather experiences in their early years and share their wisdom with others and to clarify. Okay, basically share their wisdom with others. Okay, so, and to clarify, right, I know I've been saying that you know what is correct for you to do so, to really like what this means by correctness is really sort of like leaning on your type and your authority to sort of help you, guide you in determining when to sort of externalize your thoughts and your talents and your wisdom. Okay, so know them when you are living your design. Those things will come naturally to you, and sort of like, rather than to force yourself to do them more, okay, you can use this kind of signpost to sort of check in with yourself and then see whether there's something that you are holding back from. So, okay, how can your profile apply it in your life? Okay, with your profile, there is nothing that you need to do actually, because this is just naturally how you experience and move through life, especially. Okay, as you experiment with your own strategy and authority and live life in alignment with your true self. So there's nothing much that you can do actually. Okay, so however, right, knowing it can definitely give you a deeper awareness of your patterns and often dissolve internal conflicts that you might feel into understanding and acceptance. Okay, this can happen a lot, especially in the cases of types where you have two sides that are pretty much the polar opposites of each other. Okay, like the 2-4 or the 4-2 profiles, which include both the 2 hermit and so the antisocial and the 4 opportunists. Okay, that social archetype. Okay, and for me as a 1-4 investigator, right, opportunist profile, right, I'm able to sort of understand my need to sort of feel prepared and investigate and accept that this is a normal part of my profile, while also bringing into awareness to the fact that it's impossible to know everything 100%. Okay, because taking action and to not let that get in the way of starting something. Okay, and sharing and even reflecting back on my unconscious foresight, right, which is the opportunist, right. A lot of research and findings I often share, okay, with my relationships and network. So this would eventually help me open up more connections, and with these connections help me bring up more new opportunities in my own life and improving my own lifestyle. Okay, and usually it starts off with my own relationships and health as well. Okay, and then subsequently it might even be my career, even my friendships and all. Okay, all starts from researching, then investigating, and sharing it with my connections. Okay, so how can you learn more about your profile? Okay, so if you want to start digging into your profile more, right, there are 2 books that I actually recommend starting with. So the first book is the Definitive Guide to Human Design, and this is the official human design book. Okay, then I would also recommend this one from Keaton Parkin, which is called Discover the Person You Were Born to Be. Okay, so these are the 2 books because it's easy to sort of digest and start off from here. Okay, so another option is for you, if you want to dig into other parts of your chart without having to sift through all this information, right, is to simply get a human design reading. Okay, and I myself can provide this service for you. Okay, and basically help you understand your depths of your human design chart. Okay, and help you see in great detail and your potential. Okay, so I do offer this one-to-one reading, okay, and we can do it in a 60-minute Zoom call, which I would also provide you with the 30+ page human design reading. Okay, this is your own blueprint and your own profile. Okay, and it's really for your own reflection and learning that you can always use as your resource guide, and I'll leave my email below so that we could get in touch. Okay, so I'll leave it in the description down below. Okay, so in this episode, right, I would have covered the following questions. Okay, number 1, what are profiles? Okay, number 2, how is your profile determined? Number 3, what do the numbers mean in your profile? Number 4, what insights can your profile tell you? Number 5, how can you apply it in real life? And lastly, number 6, how to learn more about your own individual profile. So I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, please make sure you share your comments in the comment section below. I'm ending this video off. Om Shanti.